Hi guys, here we are at CES in Las Vegas. We decided to give you an update on video this time instead of there being lost communication through words. And when I say we are here at CES, say hello to Mrs. Denny Takeo.
Hello guys.
Okay, so we're going to do an interview here, and Denny is going to be the interviewer, and I'm the interviewee. And we're going to hopefully address everybody's concerns. So, without further ado, Denny.
Okay. What I'm here to do is to talk to Charlie the same way that I talk to him when he and I are talking and you guys can't hear anything. When we're talking, trying to get information for updates and things like that. Our very first disclaimer needs to be that 0 Kickstarter funds were being used to get either Charlie or I to CES. We both came independently and wanted to be here.
It's all on our own dime.
Exactly. So, Charlie, why are we actually here at CES? What are you doing here?
Well, we're here primarily because our engineering team is here, and there are other products here, obviously, that we would like to see. But mainly because our engineering team is here and the contract manufacturer is here who is going to be building the Kickstarter projects.
What's a contract manufacturer?
So that is the assembly facility. So that's the facility that takes the printed circuit board, has that manufactured, and then buys all the components and stuffs all the components, solders all the components into the printed circuit board. And then we'll take our case, which is tooled up, and assemble everything into the case. They will test it, make sure there's everything's functioning as it should, and then ship it to us, and then we will ship it out to the Kickstarter folks from there.
All right. You guys, I am working from a few notes here, but let's see here. Charlie, tell me this. Go through the explanation of why this has taken so long. And most people, a lot of the backers, the question comes up over and over and over again. Why didn't you know that we needed an MFI approval to build the Xspander?
Okay, good question. And I think we've posted a lot of this in the past, but a lot of it's gotten lost over time. Again, it has been a long time, and I'm sorry for that. Our original deadline that we had for Christmas of 2 years ago, at the time, we had a functional prototype, as you guys saw in the video. That was designed locally by our engineer, Tim. And at the time we shot the video, we had no idea, I had no idea really what MFI approval was. I was very naive about it at that point, and I'm sorry for that. I just didn't know. One of the backers actually either sent an email or posted a comment saying, what are you going to do about MFI approval? I don't know that Apple will approve this. And I admitted I didn't know what it was. I started to research it, and I got an email in writing from Apple stating that we do not need MFI approval for this product. We actually posted that email. For those of you who are saying, oh, let me see that. We actually did post that email. If you go back in the earlier post, I don't remember which one it was, but we posted that email that we received from Apple saying we did not need MFI approval. Okay? So the original timeline we could have met had we not needed Apple approval and not needed all the subsequent changes that were coming that at the time we didn't know about. Okay, so then the funding happens, and we start to do our design, and I'm now finding out that from people telling me you definitely need MFI approval, MFI approval, I start looking at, okay, does Tim have the knowledge to do the MFI approval stuff and to make sure that the engineering is done in a way that conforms to MFI? And I find out that he doesn't. So now I've got to find an additional team of engineers to work with Tim who are versed in Apple products and accessories. So I find Bob and his team out in Colorado, and that's where everything started to really take the delays. Bob tells me, yeah, for certain you need Apple MFI approval. Here's who you need to contact, blah, 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 blah. I find out that we need it. Then the delay starts with, okay, when are we going to get, or are we going to get this MFI approval? Finally, as you all know, we did get the MFI approval, but along the way of getting that MFI approval, we said, here, Apple, here's what we want. And Apple said, no, you can't do that. Well, what about this? No, you can't do that. What about that? No, you can't do that. Well, what about this? Yeah, okay, you can do that. Okay, now what about this other feature? No, you can't do that. And they won't say, you can't do that, but you can do this, this, this. They just say, no, you can't do that. And you have to keep taking guesses. I know it sounds...
Give me an example, Charlie, of... Give me specifics, not this and that.
Okay.
What did you try to put in that they wouldn't let you put in?
Okay.
And what did they make you change it to?
So the perfect example and the most gleaming example is the micro SD card. So originally we said, all right, we're going to put a micro SD card into this thing. And they said, they didn't say, no, you can't put a micro SD card into this. They said, Apple does not allow any external standard memory to be put into a case. And we said, okay, what can we put in? And they came back and said, we don't tell you what you can and can't do. We don't give you suggestions. We can just tell you what you can and can't do. So then we start the guessing game. Well, can we do, I don't even remember where we went next. I think a USB memory. And they said, no, you can't do a USB memory. Again, Apple does not allow any standard external memory, blah, blah, blah. So then we say, what about a custom memory module? And they say, tell us more about that. And then we went down the path of, we want to do this. Honestly, I don't even remember because there were so many iterations. I don't remember which one was next, but we eventually got to the point where Apple allowed us to do a custom memory module that was both a hardware lock on it, in other words, custom hardware, custom physically, so it's not like physically any custom or any standard memory module on the market today. And also it had to be custom from an electrical standpoint, so there had to be a firmware lock on it. So all of a sudden we went from, well, not all of a sudden, I wish it was all of a sudden, but we went from, in the beginning of the project, having something that was a standard micro SD card memory, which would have been great, to this custom memory module, and now we're in the memory business. So it was not our intention to be there. I hope I've answered the question, but I've gotten kind of lost on what the original question was. But.
Okay. The questions that we were addressing was about the MFI, and why didn't you know in advance what you would need?
Yeah. Okay. So thanks. So the MFI, we didn't know we were going to need it. My naivety.
That's because they told you that you didn't need it.
Yes.
And it wasn't until 6 weeks after the project closed that they told you that you would need it because of the new Lightning connector, and they changed all their rules than they had been around everything that revolved around the 30-pin connector, right? That's
true, yeah. I don't remember if it was 6 weeks. I don't remember what the timing was, but I know it was definitely, and we posted this as well, it was definitely after the funding had occurred.
Just so you know, it's about 6 weeks after.
Okay, great.
All right. The big question that most people have had, or the biggest complaint, I should say, is that when you found out that you were going to need this MFI approval, and you started dealing with Apple, it started turning into something that wasn't what you posted. So it, in a lot of people's minds, has become an entirely different product than what you originally pitched to them.
Yeah.
And many people have said that you should have, at the time you found that out, shut down the project and then attempted to repost it with new knowledge and give people a chance to get out when you found out it was going to be different. Why didn't you?
Yeah. Okay, that's a great question. And I think although there are people that have complained and said, you changed this thing completely and it's not what you originally posted and we want our money back, you got to understand that there were the silent majority, really, and a lot of them that weren't so silent. I get emails every day from Kickstarter people. And although I don't respond to them all, I get a lot of data, and there are more people, a lot more people, that were okay with the changes that Apple had forced upon us. So now I have this pool of money to complete a project where most of the people want the project even with the changes that are coming on board, and then there's another group of people that are maybe okay with some of the changes but not others, and then there's other people that say this is completely different and we want our money back. Okay, at the time, I apologize for this. Maybe I should have canceled it and then restarted and said, okay, now it's under these auspices. I guess why I didn't is because I had most of the people that were okay with it, and I wanted to finish the project. I thought, and I still think, that in the spirit of the original project, we're still accomplishing everything that we wanted to accomplish. We still have a project before Mophie released, although Mophie doesn't have the product out yet, that there's external memory in a device, in a case, as well as a battery, as well as flash. There's still nobody who has all three of these components. It has not changed as far as the three components are concerned: camera, flash, memory, and battery. The thing that has changed is the...
You're not talking about the fourth feature that a lot of people wanted, was the 30-pin pass-through connector.
Yes, right.
Because you've got all of the accessories that they've spent the last 6 or 7 years building up since the first iPhone iteration, and a new connector now, and they've got hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of accessories that they wanted to be able to use. And that was one of the biggest, at the time I backed, that was the biggest thing I wanted, was that pass-through connector.
Yeah, and you know, I'm in the same boat. I have a bunch of accessories that are 30-pin accessories, and the accessories that you have to buy from Apple are quite expensive. So I'm in the same boat. I desperately wanted that. We designed it. We put it into the original video, or the updated video, I guess, as you saw when the iPhone 5 came out. From a technological standpoint, we could do it. We knew we could do it. Apple said, no, you can't. So then again, we're in a situation where, okay, what do we do? If everybody at the time said, if I had unanimously gotten data from all of the backers saying, forget about it, go ahead and make it for us anyway and ship it to us, that would have been fine. That would have been an easy decision. But I have 2,000 people, and everybody's got a different opinion. So I had to go with the majority of the people, which at the time was, we're okay with that not being in there. Believe me, I was as upset about it as you guys were. I mean, imagine, okay, you guys see a product that, wow, that's cool, I could use it. I dream this thing up, and then somebody shatters my dream. So believe me, I'm not happy about what has occurred, and I'm sorry for it. I absolutely am trying my best, guys, to get this thing to you in the quickest time possible. I know that does not seem evident to you guys at all times, but I am trying my hardest every day to do it.
Okay. Guys, in order to try to keep the uploads, we're going to have to split these series of questions into multiple different videos. So we're going to pause here and just restart another video.